story of this bullpen is just emphasized tonight as PJ Poulin comes out of the bullpen and just shuts down these Cotuit Kettleers. PJ, when you came into the game, what was going through your mind and what did you really want to accomplish out there on the mound?
Just holding the offense to what they had, going out there executing pitches and at the end of the day, getting guys out.
PJ, the bullpen has been really successful this season for the Braves, but I want to ask you specifically, you get to work with your UConn teammate in Zach Susie behind the plate. Can you talk a little bit about the emphasis or how much that helps you being able to have a guy that you're so familiar with back there?
Yeah, it's the best. I get a guy who knows how my pitches work, who knows how I want to throw to certain guys and certain counts, certain pitches I want to throw. So, we're on the same page and, we don't have to really we don't have to build that relationship, pitcher-catcher, it's already there, so it's awesome.
Cotuit really stacked its order with left-handers to face Zach Hess tonight. So when you came in the game, did that give you a lot of confidence knowing you're going to face so many left-handed hitters?
Yeah, obviously lefty-lefty, it's that's the matchups they try and get ready, lefty-lefty. So, obviously it helps, to have a lot of lefties in the lineup, have my ball run in and, get guys out.
Well, it seemed as though that every batter was working towards you, and it seemed as though that you were just pitching guys out left and right, and a lot of contact pitches to get those ground outs. How effective have you felt about your pitches since being on the Cape?
Oh, awesome. I think my splitter and my slider has really come on strong since I've been down here, and it's just biting down and getting guys to ground out, and that's awesome.
PJ, we've asked a couple guys about the relationships that you guys are able to build in the bullpen. It seems like a lot of fun out there. I was never a relief pitcher growing up or anything, or pitcher in general, so I don't really know what that camaraderie is like. But can you talk a little bit about that environment in the summer league and what kind of an experience it is to be able to get to know these guys throughout the season?
Oh, it's awesome. You're working with a bunch of guys that love the game, are elite players, and you're with them every day, 8-10 hours a day, and
you have
we're
to
all
like
here.
them.
Yeah, you have to like them, but they're also awesome guys, and just fun to be around, and I'm just happy to be here.
First place Bourne Braves, how does that sound to you?
Let's go. Let's get to the playoffs.
I like the message, PJ. Well, thanks for coming on Tomahawk Talk today. Great job on the mound as well.
Thank you.
Well, we've talked about the guys on the mound, but we got to talk about the guys at the plate as well, especially Jeremy Ironmen. Now, if you haven't heard of him, he's new here, but he's racked up quite the resume with 2 home runs in the past 2 days, one yesterday, one today. That's been absolute moonshots out to left center and also center field for this one today. It's incredible to see his power at the plate and his exceptional work at the shortstop position. Where's this guy been all season? I mean, he was great for the Bears, and then he got to Team USA as well. What does he bring to this Bourne roster?
Well, right now he's shown everybody why the Braves are so happy to have him back and why Missouri State is so happy to have him in the first place and why the national team wants him as well. I said it yesterday, he's essentially a 5-tool player, but the biggest thing he provides to this Braves lineup is pop that is isolated in his at-bat. The fact that he's able to come up in a situation in which just one swing of the bat changed the course of the game as far as the score, as far as the momentum, it doesn't matter. Throughout the course of this season, we've seen the Braves be in a lot of situations where they've had to close out one-run games starting from the 7th inning all the way to the 9th. That's a tough task to ask of your bullpen, especially against these caliber of hitters. But what Ironman does is he's able to be that guy to come up and extend a 1-run lead to a 2-run lead. We saw that tonight where the Braves had one big inning, as they've done all year. They had the one inning where they got the 4 runs. That was really enough tonight. I don't think you could have anticipated as fantastic performances we got out of Poulin and Lensman. But for Ironman to be able to come up and even just a solo home run variety, that swing of the bat right there really kept the momentum going for the Braves. Helped solidify that lead and just made things so much easier for the relievers.
Well, the 3 guys on the mound for today were Zach Hess, PJ Poulin, and Chad Lensman for the Bourne Braves. Hess kind of struggled today, gave up 3 runs, but then PJ and Chad came in and just annihilated people left and right. Not literally, but in strikeouts and in groundouts and everything else. What does this Bourne bullpen bring to the table, and are they someone to fear for other teams?
Well, starting with Hess just quickly, I think it's really hard to evaluate him based on stats and performance this summer because he's really up here to work on his secondary pitches. So if he gets into counts 2-1, 3-1, 2-0, things like that, he'll throw a changeup or he'll throw a slider because that's what he's working on. So things might not go the way he wants results-wise, but he's just working on things here. So with Hess, don't necessarily look at the stats to say, oh, this guy's as good as this or not that good, struggled tonight, whatever. Bullpen-wise, Poulin and Lensman were outstanding, and they were pounding the zone, throwing strikes, pitching to contact, forced Cotuit to put together hits as opposed to walks and wild pitches and things like that, and able to score runs. And guess what? They didn't score runs. Overall, the bullpen's been great. I mean, you have guys like Lensman, Poulin, Alvarado, Feltner, who have been untouchable for the most part this season. And then we saw last night a guy like Sean Leland very quietly doing a nice job out of the pen. And there are a bunch of other guys who have been really effective. You throw Nick Johnson in there, and I'm certainly forgetting some. But for the Braves, it's basically gotten to the point where you need to have the lead in the 5th or the 6th inning. And if you get to that point, you're going to feel very, very comfortable with your ability to win ball games.
Well, keeping on the theme of the pitching category, we had PJ Poulin on earlier. Now we got to bring on Chad Lensman from the University of Nebraska. Chad, you came into this game as a closer role, kind of like Ryan Feltner does as well, and you did exceptional on the mound today. What was working for you out there?
The first inning, pretty much everything was working, and then Frege bailed me out on that hard hit ball. But that was pretty much it. I was just throwing the ball to the plate, let him swing at it.
Chad, it's your second summer here on the Cape. What has been the biggest difference for you between season 1 and now season 2 with the Braves?
I think just getting all the innings from last year under your belt, you kind of know what to expect, and you know the level of competition that you're going to be playing at. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is I knew what I was getting into when I came up here.
The last 2 nights this team's put together comeback wins, back-to-back nights with home runs from Jeremy Ironmen. How good are you guys feeling about yourselves right now?
I think we feel pretty good. Jeremy adds a jolt to the offense, and the pitching's been pretty solid as of late, and we hope to just keep rolling on that.
You're known as kind of a comedian in the bullpen, and you definitely have a lot of fun out there. What are some activities that you guys do out there to really build that team chemistry?
Just always talking, just always getting on each other, play some cards, play some games, a lot of password, eat a lot of food. I think everyone's kind of grabbing each other's food, getting at each other, but it's a good time out there, with 20 guys. We have a lot of fun.
Who's the biggest snack guy?
Nick Bennett. Nick Bennett loves his snacks.
I'll go to him. So, Chad, I want to ask you a little bit about your teammate, Luis Alvarado, a guy that we saw a little bit last year, only got 1 inning on the mound, switching between just being batter only to a two-way player. Can you talk a little bit about the changes that you've seen from him going from last year throughout the entire spring at Nebraska to where he's at right now?
He in the beginning of the year, they threw him out there and they're like, hey, see what you can do. And I think, as the year progressed, he gained more experience, and learned more about pitching. And, coming up here, he's got the opportunity, throw against some real hitters, and he's excelled, just from what he's picked up during the season. I think it's awesome to watch, and, we're going to have a good pitching staff next year.
Now, in a big spot, who do you want on the mound, you or Luis?
I think I have to say myself, but I think Luis would say him, so I think you get a different answer both ways.
Now, I asked this to PJ, but we're getting to the home stretch. First place, Bourne Braves. How does that sound to you?
Sounds pretty good, and I think if we keep playing like we are right now, we're going to stay that way.
Well, Chad, thanks for coming on Tomahawk Talk today. Great job on the mound.
Thank you.
As the Bourne Braves look to take on the Orleans Firebirds in Orleans. I'd like to thank you for joining us on Tomahawk Talk. He's Kyle Kirchville. He's Justin Galanti. He's Chad Lensman. I'm Blaine McCormick. Thanks again.